Hello, Shelle. Thank you for coming on today. How are you doing?
Hi there. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me first and foremost. I'm really honoured to be here and to be speaking to you today and your lovely audience as well. It's a real honour and privilege. And, I'm pretty good today. Thank you. I'm really good.
Good,
Really
good.
positive and yeah, feeling pretty good.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
I mean, just a quick recap on how we met. I'm in your ladies empowerment group and we meet on a Saturday afternoon. And Shelle has all sorts of different guest speakers on, and I think I've been there from probably week one now, but I've learned so much, and it's just such a really nice supportive group. And Shelle is obviously, we'll call her Shelle Fantastic because she's like the leader of the gang, if you like, and it's getting bigger. Today, I was going to take a quick screenshot so that you can see how quickly the group's growing, because on a Saturday morning, there's more and more people turning up. You've done really well.
Thank you.
So
Thank
do you
you.
want to tell a little bit about what's behind that group then? And because that's how we met.
Yeah, so the Shelle Fantastic Women's Empowerment Group is a registered company. We've obviously got the Facebook group there. And it started out initially as I realised in COVID that, there was a pain point, that women all over the world were being affected predominantly because of the COVID pandemic that we're sadly experiencing. And so I wanted to, formulate something, like a group coaching sort of weekly calls each Saturday with, guest speakers, once a month or whatever. As it goes, we've got guest speakers each week now, right through to April. And we cover everything from well-being, anxiety management, health, beauty, right through to building your business, branding, marketing. And it's quickly grown. And basically what we do in a nutshell is we support women holistically, because, a woman isn't just a mum, a daughter, a wife. She's everything. She's everything. She can be seeing to children, and in the next breath she can be, building her own website or talking to a customer or whatever. And it's about addressing all those points and giving women the confidence, to use the platform that we have each week to speak about the business products or services, or maybe they don't have a business product or service. Maybe they just want to share that they went for a walk and, and they got a lot from that. And actually, since they've been having a walk every day, they're sleeping better, their anxiety levels have reduced, and, and just sharing that. Because I believe through sharing and lifting others, we rise ourselves, together we grow. And that's it in a nutshell, really.
It's really beautiful. It is. And I know yesterday I jumped on my group because I think sometimes we can get carried away and presume people know how to get on a Zoom call. So I suppose even the first thing that they could do is join your Facebook group, which I'll share that link. But as well, I'm trying to put together a very short tutorial to show women how to, if usually your partner is the one that helps you get online or doing the family Zoom calls and you don't know how to do that. I don't want that to keep women stuck because it's just a couple of buttons. It seems like such a big deal, but it's really, really not. So if that's what's holding you back, then reach out and I'll support any of my members with that.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's really, really, really important. And it just crossed my mind that, we don't want to assume that women, every woman knows how to do a Zoom call, because you know what, 4 years ago, I couldn't copy and paste. And I think as well, a lot of things that maybe put women off is thinking that they've got to be on camera like we are today, or they've got to actually even speak.
But yes, I can show right now, actually, I can show them an idea that how I can switch my camera off. So and I can switch my stop video. That's it, isn't it? And that's me. And you can put your own profile picture in. So we could talk like that, but it's not very I think once you get used to it, though, you very quickly forget. I mean, you look at yourself and you can see you do this, but you soon forget, don't you?
Yeah, you do. And like I say, and like I say, you can join into a Zoom call and experience it and get that knowledge and get that information without having your camera on, without even speaking, because there is a chat box. at the bottom
Yeah.
of the screen that if you click on, if you've got anything that you want to
Yeah. So
ask or
you could,
contribute.
I could, I could be muted with me photograph off, and I can just be chatting away like this. So you can
Yeah.
still feel part of the call, can't you?
Yeah.
You don't have to feel like you're just there.
Yeah. Without being on, without feeling that you're on show and feeling, you know, uncomfortable with that. You know, and it's surprising how many people I've known over the years that started out in that manner, and then suddenly the next minute the camera goes on, and I'm like, oh, I can see you. You know, that's great. You know,
Absolutely. And
and it's lovely.
I think for us who are a little bit more confident, I know I always keep my camera on because I prefer that. You know, I've gone on a Zoom before with people when I'm trying to be the teacher, and it's just much nicer when you can see people's eye contact, isn't it? It is. So I try to
More
stay.
personal.
Yeah, it does. You make more of a connection, I think, don't you?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
went off on a
definitely.
tangent there, but hopefully that's helped people out.
Yeah.
So the reason why I wanted to grab your expertise, right, Shelle, is because when I decided I wanted to do this business, one of the things that held me back was that I felt I had to go to college and I had to go and do all sorts of qualifications in order to feel that I had some sort of expertise. And I quickly had to think, well, you know, I haven't got time for that. I really just want to help now. I want, while this is passionate in me, I didn't want to have to go off and do that. So I realized really quickly that a way around that would be to tap into other experts. So it's always been my vision in my membership to have a little bit like my ladies, or my, you know, I think of them like the Spice Girls. I don't know, you can see over there, like an expert. So I was looking at you to be my Shelle Fantastic, who has all this experience as a mental health nurse, and you've got loads of experience with anxiety. Now, honestly, many of my clients have anxiety that when they present themselves to me, I can't think of one who, you know, who hasn't suffered with that. And I don't know if it's like something that would just use that word and it gets thrown around a bit more. But to be honest, it is something that I know it's a common thread running through. And what I feel is some clients say that they drink because they have anxiety. And on the other hand, you know, my research shows that it's one of the things that can cause anxiety. So I just wanted to run this past you and get, you know, from someone with experience, what's your take on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, with my background up to date, working within mental health, you know, and you know, my business outside that as well. You know, alcohol can, you know, obviously cause anxiety, and it's a bit of a chicken and egg, isn't it? I suppose, because some people might start drinking. And they're quite confident and they've never experienced anxiety before. It's never really been a problem, you know, on a regular basis. And they've just got carried away with the sort of habit, if you like, of drinking regularly. And suddenly now they've got anxiety. Whereas, you know, and then maybe sometimes they might use the alcohol to manage that anxiety as sort of a crutch. And it's really about addressing that, because anxiety is a big part of it, I do believe, and it's about how you can manage that, you know, as a deterrent to go back to those drinking styles, and also, you know, it's a false way of managing your anxiety, really, because actually it just is like a bit like pouring petrol on a bonfire, I suppose. It just exacerbates it and compounds it, really. So it's about, you know, I think really looking at that anxiety and how you can manage that effectively. You know, if not to stop alcohol, but to reduce your intake and change some of those lifestyle habits really around alcohol.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, I think that's really good advice. And I think sometimes it's hard it's hard until you take a step away from alcohol to work out is the which is which, really. And until you get to the bottom of what it is you're feeling and what it is you're anxious about, you can't get there whilst you're still numbing yourself with alcohol. So what advice would you give if someone presented themselves to you with anxiety and they've been relying on alcohol to cope because they believed it had helped? What would a mental health or expert, or, you know, someone possibly with your experience, advise on that in that situation? I mean, obviously I know the GP is the right place to go, but just general advice. generic.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I'm I'm experienced. I wouldn't say I'm an expert particularly, but thank you. It's really, obviously, going and speaking with your GP and getting some, professional advice from a medic, or a medical service is always, very, very crucial. It's very important because they can guide and support you, and maybe even provide a detox if it came to that, or whatever, getting that support, and also tapping into services within your own area that specialize in that, because obviously alcohol isn't my speciality, but obviously I've got extensive experience around anxiety management. So for me it'd be, there are lots of self-help things that you can do to manage your anxiety, which we can explore on today's call, really, and hopefully it'll help everybody to manage that effectively moving forward.
All right, that sounds brilliant. If we're going to leave with something, a little top tip or something. So what else can people do to manage anxiety at home without relying on increasing, the typical medication? I know one of the things that we've learned just today in your group was all about essential oils. So it's being open to other ideas, isn't it? I know that would have been something I probably would have dismissed when I was drinking, is, oh, that's not for me. But it maybe the more you move away from alcohol, the more open you become to these other ideas like meditation. But is there anything else? Any other self-care tips you would give?
Oh God, I've got a list. Honestly, if you could see my list here, I mean, honestly, there's so much you can do, and it's just about being open-minded. It's about thinking outside the box. It doesn't have to be there. It's all around you. You can look, just look in a different direction instead of looking there and focusing on sometimes a problem. Sometimes the more you look for anything, the more you look for a solution. You can't see it, and it's right under your nose sometimes. But the more you look for anything, you can't see it. It's only when sometimes you look away and take that pressure off and think, right, let me look at what else is around me, that you get answers. I mean, we've all had situations, haven't we? I know I had just the other day, I lost the remote control for the TV. So I searched for that remote control. I was determined I was going to find it. I even found myself looking in the laundry cabinet in the bathroom upstairs. The TV remote control never leaves the lounge. But suddenly I found myself in this exploratory journey looking for the remote control in any place that it would never ever be. And it was only when I stopped and said, right, I've had enough. And I stopped. It was there about, 10, 15 minutes later, it was there. It was like, hidden under the corner of a throw or something. It got lost even more through my journey of looking for it. And that's a great analogy, because, and it's a real analogy, because sometimes the more we look for solutions to our problems, sometimes and just focus on it and examine it and pick it to pieces, sometimes the answers are we just can't see them. We can't see the wood for the trees. And this is why I like to have an open-minded approach where we can explore other avenues, because there's so many out there. Simple things often. I don't like to overcomplicate things. I like to keep things very simple. Because obviously, quite most of the time, the best answers are the most simple, the most obvious, that we just don't think of. It's right in front of us, and we just don't think of it because we overcomplicate it. We think because it's such a complex problem, we've got to be able to find a complex answer. And sometimes it's a simple answer. So, sometimes it could be, it's down to your routine, your structure. What's your routine like? Do you need to formulate a better routine? Structure, mindfulness, how can we, practicing mindfulness through the day, practicing relaxation, just a simple breathing exercise or grounding technique, could be really, really effective. And it's about really creating a toolkit, if you like. I like to call it a toolkit, and filling it with lots and lots of different skills. And, and one thing that I've realized over my career is that one cap doesn't fit all. So you might have got a toolkit full of all these different skills. It could be relaxation, mindfulness, grounding, all these different things. But, it's like with anything, and I'm big for analogies, but, if I had, say, a leaky tap, we've all had problems where we've been looking in our toolbox, for an appropriate screwdriver to solve a problem that we've got in the house. We might try one first, and if that doesn't work, then we might think, no, I'll try that one. and that'll work. So it's about exploring that toolkit. But in the first place, it's about creating a toolkit with all these different skills, you know, and finding something that works for you. And, you know, on any given day, you know, one of your skills might work better on any given day than another, but it's about equipping yourself with a toolkit of skills that you can use, you know, to manage your anxiety effectively on a day-by-day basis. And it's like with anything, the more you practice it just becomes like second nature.
Exactly.
And then the confidence comes, because then you're not that scared of it anymore, because you don't need to be, because you know that if it comes, and if it comes over you like a wave and it's tangible, you can feel it. I've experienced anxiety myself, you know, so I've tried and tested a lot of these methods, and I've formulated these methods through my own experiences and my own practice. And it sweeps over you, and it's tangible, and it's terrifying. It's terrifying, and it grounds you, and it just grates away at you, and it's horrible. But the more you use your toolkit and the more you develop these skills, like with anything, when you can feel that coming, you don't feel like you need to duck, because you feel confident that, hang on a minute, I've got something right here in my toolkit, let me just pull that out, you know, because I know that works for me, because it worked the last 2 or 3 times. And if it doesn't work,
a lot of the times we're anxious about being anxious. What happens if I get anxious? But if you know you've got that toolkit, you can go, oh, well, if I get anxious, I know what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And a lot of the time, you know, sometimes the more we run away from something, the more it chases us, and it becomes like a vicious cycle. And it's that fear factor, it's that adrenaline, it's that fight or flight. And sometimes if we just stop and just say, it's okay, I know I'm not feeling good, it's okay, I'm feeling anxious, but that's okay. I'm doing some breathing, and just straight away doing that breathing, slowing everything down, just giving yourself a moment, let everything settle, and then look at that toolkit. Right, what can I do? Right, okay, I'm just going to go do this, or I'm just going to go do that, you know, and just, you know, letting it settle. And, you know, if it comes back again, stop, you breathe in, just ground yourself. It's okay. Just saying to yourself in a calm voice, just like I'm saying now, it's okay. Because sometimes, you know, our talking gets faster and louder and more desperate. And we're doing that to ourselves. It's like, it's okay, I can do it, I'm all right. Oh, I'm all right, I can do it. So our body responds to the way that we talk, and to our language, to our body language, and to our thoughts. It all responds, because we're sending mixed messages. So we might be trying to use something in our toolkit, but because our mind's saying, oh my God, all right, I'm just going to do this. Sending conflicting messages, it's incongruent. So what we do is we start with us. Stop. Breathe. Take a few moments, shut your eyes, be mindful, be grounded, it's okay. And talk to yourself calmly, slowly. It's okay. It's all right, I've got this. I've got this. I'm right. I'm just gonna go make a cup of tea, or I'm just gonna, you know, do some relaxation. It's okay. And every time it starts running away with you, you're like a horse and carriage. Grab the reins, grab them, pull back. Whoa, no, stop, click, stop. Ground yourself. Take control of your breathing. Focus on your breathing. It's okay, and be okay in that moment. And just tell yourself, I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Okay. You see what I mean? And just doing that just stops that cycle. It just stop. Just let it fall. Imagine all the leaves in the air blowing away. Just let them settle. Let them settle. Then you're going to be able to see. You're going to be able to see better. You're going to be able to manage it better. You're taking control of that situation. You're saying, it's okay. It's okay to feel anxious. I know it's not nice, but it's okay. Stop. Now let's see what we can do. Let's do some breathing. And what have we got in our toolkit that we can use? And, you know, and I find that's effective.
It is. You've calmed me right down.
It helps. Doing it every time, just like a bit like a tennis ball, every time it comes at you, because believe you me, you can feel it when it comes, because it's terrifying. And for all my expertise, I've had anxiety. I do suffer with it at times, and it is terrifying. And, you know, and this is why I've developed these skills, you know, from my own experience as much as anything else. And, you know, when each time you feel it coming at you, bat it back. Coming at you, bat it back. And the way that we bat it back is stop. Oh, stop. Just ground yourself. Just breathe. Just give yourself a few moments. And then
Time, isn't it? Just giving yourself time. You don't have to hurry.
Yeah, because anxieties, it's all up in the air, and it's, oh my God, panic, panic, panic. Stop. And do that. Clap, click, something. Stop. And then do your breathing.
It's usually chatter, isn't it, in your head? Oh, just do that. Just do that. For me, it's constantly, if I know I'm going to be stressed, but it's going to be just 2 more days like this, and then it's all going to be easy. But I've been saying that since June.
Yeah, and it's just about just stopping that cycle. You know, when it hits you, stopping that cycle, just grounding yourself, you know, doing your breathing and just relaxing. And then you're coming at it from a better place, aren't you? You're coming at it from a better place. You're not fighting your way through the chaos that is. You're taking control. Because a lot of the anxieties, it's about that loss of sense of control, that you feel out of control, that it's controlling you. That, oh my God, I hate it, it's coming again. Stop. And just grounding it and taking control back and just saying, right, no, I've got this, you know. And I would recommend that obviously when it occurs, you know, but there are so many things that we can do to prevent that onset, you know, so many different skills that we can explore to prevent that and you know, to discourage that from happening. Which again will build your confidence, because a lot of it is about confidence as well, because it is a big fear factor. You know, anxiety is absolutely crippling. It's terrifying. It's a massive thing, and unless you've experienced it yourself, people just don't get it. They just don't get it how excruciatingly painful and crippling it actually really is. And even just the thought of it, because once you've had it, the thought of it coming back is enough to leave you in sheer terror. You know, it's that constant terror. And you'll start avoiding certain situations. You'll avoid certain, because it sends all these triggers, and it's like, oh no, I can't go into that situation again because last time I did it, oh, you know. And so you start doing avoidance sort of behaviours, you know, and then it just encroaches on every aspect of your life. So it's about stopping that, you know, preventing it, stopping it, managing it, you know, and taking back that control. And it actually, you know, it can be done. And it's like with anything, you know, about the first time you got on a bicycle. You know, maybe you fell off a couple of times, or maybe you had to have a stabilizer. You know, it's about the more times you practice it and make it a fundamental part of your daily routine. Even if you're feeling okay, still practice it, because it's about maintaining that. It's about maintenance and maintaining your well-being. And the more you do that, it's like with anything, before you know it, it's like the back of your hand. And then you've got the confidence there.
Building it into your routine, isn't it? Building this self-care into your routine. Like, for example, today I woke up in it and I was just feeling really grouchy. I didn't sleep very well, and I could have sat with it and I could have just felt like that all day. But instead I got my big coat on and I went for a big long walk, and I felt better. I don't feel brilliant, but I felt better when I came back. So you've got a choice. You can sit with it. A bottle of wine wouldn't have helped. I would have felt even worse now. So it's about just trying different things and journaling, so that you've got a record of what works. If you feel down in the dumps and, you know, you try something, journal about it, and so that you can really reflect, can't you, on what works for you.
Yeah, and I like what I call a traffic light system, which is because I think sometimes when we focus too much on the problem, we miss the solution, because we're fixed in that negative state. I think it's good to acknowledge the problem and recognise it. But I like to focus on, I'm more solution focused. So I find that the traffic light system is a fantastic way to manage all kinds of things, anxiety, but I use it for everything that I do, whether it's from business to anything and everything. And it's just a simple, you know, green or yellow or red dot. So it's a felt tip pen. You know, if you haven't got one, then write it. But it's more visual. It's better if it's actually a colour. And what I do is at the top of each of my pages in my diary is I'll put a dot. So red would be, you know, absolutely terrible day. Oh, absolutely awful, really challenging, so difficult, bad day. And green would be brilliant day. Actually, it was a good day. It was all right. And yellow or amber would be, well, you know, it was a bit up and down, you know, it was a bit challenging, but I did manage it. So it was a little, but it was more of an effort, you know, do you know what I mean? And just putting a dot at the top of your journal, on the page at the top of each day's journal, just a red, orange, yellow or green dot. It's reflective. So then you can look back reflectively and think, well, actually, you know, I've got more green dots now over the last month than I did the month before. You know, it's a good way of reflecting and just getting that snapshot of where you were at that day without reading reams and reams of information that's going to perhaps put you back in that negative mood. Because
on a red day, it'd be good to read the green days, wouldn't it, as well?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I call it like a traffic light system, and I use it for pretty much every aspect of my life. You know, because it just gives you that snapshot visual. You know, it's good for reflection. It's a good way of empowering you, making you feel in control, because each day you're looking back on your day and thinking, right, where was I? Right, I'm going to put a red dot or I'm going to put a green dot. You know, and it's you taking control of that and almost sort of being accountable, really, I suppose, for that day, because you're thinking, right, what day? Yeah, that was a green, so I'll put a green dot. You know what I mean? And it encourages you to keep going.
And to
really
reflect on your day before you just give it a red dot. You might go, well, actually, a friend did phone me, or this happened, something good happened. So you can't, does it really need a full-on red, or would an amber be better?
I mean, I've had days where I've had, I've put a red dot, and then I thought, well, just exactly like you said, and I thought, well, there were bits of greens actually, so I've got a green as well. So I've got a red and a green. That's okay. That's fine. That's okay. It's just, there's no hard and fast rules. It's just
you can make your own system, couldn't you?
Of course you can. Yeah, because one cap doesn't fit all. These are just suggestions, these are just suggestions that I've got, I'm not saying they're going to work for everybody, because I don't think any one thing particularly works for anybody. It's about finding something that fits you and your needs.
And being curious enough to try these things, and some things might fit, or like my program, I feel like I've learned such a lot from different areas and different books and different training I've done, and I've stuck it all together, and that works for me.
And that's what it's about. I mean, and it's also about don't be discouraged. People will come at you with loads of different suggestions that have probably worked for years for that person, and you might go and try it and it might not work for you. That's okay. That's okay. That doesn't mean to say that it's not worth trying and you're stuck, and you really are well and truly stuck, and where you are now defines you, and this is it, this is going to be it forever. No, it just means that that one thing that you tried that was suggested to you didn't really work. You didn't really get any benefit from it. So do you know what? I'm going to try the next thing, and I'm going to keep on trying. And then when I find something that fits and works and hits the spot, as I call it, then just keep using that. Do you know what I mean? And over time, you will find that you've got a few, maybe 2 or 3, maybe more things or skills in your toolkit that you think, well, okay, I've got these now that I can pull in, and I can pick between them depending on how I'm feeling on that day and what's working better for me on any given day or any given time. So it's about not being discouraged. It's about trying and almost project managing it and thinking, right, let's explore lots of different things. Let's find something that fits.
And don't you think we're all still a little bit guilty of just wallowing? Sometimes it's okay to do that. Give yourself so much time. If that's what you need to do, you don't have to fix it straight away. Just feel what you feel. I think I always describe to my clients like clouds in the sky. Just look at them and it's going to blow past. It's just a bad feeling. It's not that you've got a bad life.
It doesn't define you. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit like, finding the right skill for you. It's a little bit like, I decide that I need a new coat. It's winter time. I go into a shop. I don't walk out with the first one that I put on my back. I have to try a few. And the one that I look at and I think, oh God, that'll look gorgeous, that with my new boots and my jeans and that furry hat that I just bought. And then I go and try it on and I'm like, oh my God, hell no. And I end up picking something off the rack. I think in desperation sometimes, think, God, let's try this on then. And actually, once I've got it on and I'm wearing it and it fits, I'm like, yeah, and I walk out the shop with that one. So this is what it's like. And that's another analogy for you. It's about you know, trying different things and finding something that fits
And that's
your
even a
needs.
tool. That's a tool, isn't it? I know, like wearing a bright color. I've picked grey today. If I had put something bright on, I probably would have clicked myself out of this mood. And you
Yeah,
don't realize how powerful that is. Putting a bit of lippy on, washing your hair. You can
massive.
snap yourself out of it in some instances.
Yeah.
Can't, like, do you know what I mean? You can pick yourself up like you would a child and distract them.
And that's why your routine's key. That's why your routine's key. You know, I always personally, you know, and I can speak from my personal experience, you know, because like I say, I'm no expert, you know, I can just share with you, you know, things that have worked for me and that have worked for others. You know, it's about having a routine so that in the morning you can hit the floor running. Because sometimes in the morning you wake up and you've got this day stretching in front of you. It's like, oh God, I don't know what to do. It's overwhelming. And even just the thought sometimes of getting dressed in a day, as daft as it sounds, is too much. And then you might beat yourself up and think, well, I used to be able to do this and that, and I used to be a high flyer, and now I can't even get dressed in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, so I always like to write a list the evening before, just like like a shopping list, really. You know, like, you know, get up, get washed, get dressed. You know, even sometimes putting your clothes out the night before,
Mm-hmm.
and then you haven't got the hassle of trying to think in the morning, what am I going to wear? Oh, I don't know what I'm going to wear. What I've got, what's clean? I didn't do the laundry yesterday. I've got nothing clean. I won't bother. You know, if you've got your clothes out ready the night before and you're hitting the floor running, when you wake up, all you have to do, reach for that list. And I'm not saying all you have to do because it's still hard, but it makes it a little bit easier. Reach for that list. Right, first thing on my list, get out of bed. Right, I'm out. Second, get a wash. Right, I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to go and get a wash. Just get it done as quick as I can. I'll even time myself if I have to, you know what I mean? As quick as I can, you know. And then your clothes are already laid out, getting the clothes on, you know, and working your way through the day in that manner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll be honest with you, I've set myself little races in the day. You know, I've had a race against the kettle. So, you know, instead of putting enough water in for 1 cup of coffee, I filled it right to the top and I've set it going and I've charged upstairs, you know, got my clothes on or whatever and tried to get back down before the kettle has boiled. And I never really did it. I never made it. But you know what? It gave me the wind in my sails to get up them blooming stairs and get turned round. Little things like that, you know, which sound daft,
It's
you
not,
know.
no, it's like
Work.
gamifying it, isn't it? It's just trying to push yourself, and you will have days that are easier than others.
Oh,
But
yeah.
really good tips. I love all of them.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And, you know, just going back to that list and structuring your day, just to round up on that, what I like to do as well every evening, you know, because I do believe that we need a cut-off point in a day, you know, because we're so busy doing whatever we're doing, we're all busy doing something, aren't we? And I think it's really so important to build in rest and relaxation into our lives. It's just as important as going to the grocery store. It's just as important as going to work. It's just as important as everything that we do for everybody else. If we don't look after ourselves, we're not in a good position to look after others, you know, and it's so important and we don't do it enough. So I always like to say that we have a cut-off time each evening. You know, it might be 7 o'clock, it might be 8 o'clock. It has to be something that fits for you and your lifestyle. You might have got little kids, you might not. I don't know. But a cut-off time that you down tools and that's your time. And in that time, don't just have it as a blank piece of time necessarily, but use it as a time for relaxation. So it might be, well, I'm right looking forward to 8 o'clock tonight when I've downed tools. I'm going to go and have a lovely bubble bath. And I've got this bubble bath here and I've been saving it for this reason, because it's like a spa treatment. You know, I'm going to get in that bath. I'm going to have a lovely bubble bath. I've made sure that I've got a lovely bathrobe over the radiator so it's nice and warm. It's my best fluffy one. And oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to get in that lovely warm bubble bath and soak away and just relax. And oh, this is so nice. And I can't wait to get my bathrobe on and wrap myself up and maybe some lovely fluffy bed socks. And then I'm going to go downstairs and, you know, and put on I don't know, a TV show that you love or some music or read a book, something that you enjoy, and just have that downtime and just relax and just unwind and reward yourself for all your efforts, because it's been a blooming hard day, but you did it. You know what? I did it. It's been a really hard day, and actually I got a red today on my sheet, but you know what? I got through that day because here I am now and I'm proud of myself for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and chances are tomorrow's going to be better. And what I do with that list I just get my pen and I go down the list and I tick. Big tick. I never cross it out. I tick. And I go through, I reflect back on my day. So got out of bed, tick. Got washed, tick. Got dressed, tick. Had a walk, tick. And I tick it all off. And if there's anything else that I've managed to do that wasn't maybe on the list, I'm going to just quickly write that in. Oh, I did manage to put some laundry in because I've not been doing it. I did put some laundry in, tick. You know what I mean? Everything counts. And collect the positives. Collect the positives. Because, you know, you need rewarding for that. That's been a hard day, right? You know, it's not easy. You know, the simple things are so hard when you're feeling as you do. So make them count. Tick them off. Reward yourself. And then, you know, put your list down. You've got your list ready for tomorrow morning. You know what you're up to tomorrow. You've got a big idea to work to. And you can go to bed not thinking about it and worrying. Because you know what you're doing tomorrow. It's all right. You know, and if it changes a little bit, if you don't manage to do everything on your list, that's okay. I roll it to the next day. Because as long as we're keeping trying, that's the key. It's when we stop trying, that's when we get stuck.
Yeah, and everyone goes through it, don't they? So it's more about what you do, how you pick yourself up, really, isn't it? That's key. But I think kind of connecting with other women who are okay to chat about this, you know, sometimes it's easier to talk to strangers than it is the people who are closest to you in your life, you know. And we're all guilty of burnout or relying on other things to get us through. Like, and I think what find helps me is talking like this and coming along on a Saturday afternoon to natter in your group. Honestly, I think it's a good part of my self-care. And you never know what you're going to learn. And you know, it's just about being open-minded to mixing with different people, isn't it? And the world's so small now. If we can get past this little Zoom hurdle, you
it's
know,
amazing. I mean,
holding you back.
I've got a great example of that. I mean, on each of my Saturday calls that we have, I like to start off with a question, you know, and I work around the audience and I ask a reflective sort of question. And one of the questions that I asked today was, what would you like to change or, you know, learn or something new? What would you like to do for 2021? You know, not a resolution as such per se. And, you know, I had it already in my mind because there's no point in asking a question if you don't know your own answer. So I'd already got it in my mind. But in the spirit of, you know, hospitality and good manners, you know, I wanted to work around the audience first and then I was going to be the last. But you know what? Honestly, by the time I'd gone like round 2-3 people, I'm like, that was going to be mine. That was going to be mine. And by the end of it, I'm like, well, I don't even actually really need to say mine or anything, in fact, other than to say, well, actually, you've already said what I was going to do, you know. And it's amazing. But up until that point, I thought that it was my thing. I thought it was my exclusive thing that I needed to do, you know, which was, you know, to have better time management and to look after my well-being more. Can you believe it? Shelle Fantastic saying that, but even I need to work on this stuff, you know, and that just makes me human, and that's okay. But yeah, as soon as I put that question out there, all the answers from the women, I'm like, God, that's not just me then. It's all of it. In fact, it was really interesting. It should have been an experiment because by the end of that Q&A bit, everybody had said the same thing pretty much. And that suddenly it wasn't just my thing, it was our thing as a group. And I'm like, oh, actually, it's not just me then, you know.
Exactly.
That's great.
And now I feel as part of that group that someone's keeping me accountable and holding my hand, and it's almost the same as a coach, isn't it? Which is what we both do. And I'm going to make you tell me what you do because you never tell it. Okay, like my role as a coach, I can't do it for my clients. They're the ones who have to not drink. But to have somebody who's been in those shoes to walk you through the process, who has a program and a step-by-step action plan, you can see you're moving forward. That's the benefit of it, isn't it? And I think you're offering that to us on a Saturday morning, and we could have brought anything. Mine was, I've got a plan now. I just need to stick to it.
Yeah.
And it's nice now that I'm going to be held accountable, because I tend to get in my own way and I'm full of good ideas, but the good ideas tend to get boring really quickly in my head before I've even told anyone about them. I'm on to the next idea. So we'll all have these things, and the biggest thing is finding out, is looking at yourself, isn't it? so that you can grow.
Yeah, and sharing that, you know, and realizing, because as soon as you share it, you realize that actually you're not on your own, because that's one of the big factors. You know, that's one of the big pain points. You feel like you're on your own. It's solitary. It's a lonely place to be, and you feel like it's yours and just you. And you know it's not. You're not stupid or anything. You know it's not just you that experiences anxiety or whatever else it is that you're experiencing.
And
but the feeling is very lonely. And it's only when you start, you know, sharing that, you know, in a safe environment, in a safe way, you know, that you realize that other people share those experiences, and that it's okay. It's not nice, you know, but it's okay. And it doesn't define you, and it doesn't mean that you're going to stay like that. And this is it now forever. It just means that this is where you are now, and that's okay. And it's going to get worked through, and we're going to move through that. And we're going to, just like you said earlier, Claire, you know, the clouds, they blow past, you know, and it's that similar sort of analogy, really, you know. So sharing's a really good thing as well.
So anybody who's watching on this call and they want to get closer into your world and maybe speak to you on a one-to-one basis, on, you know, other sort of support that you can offer, tell us how they can get in touch with you and what services you offer.
Well, you know, people, my inbox is always open. You know, I'm not precious about timekeeping and everything. You know, you reach out to me on an inbox, send me a friend request, whatever. Join the group. You're more than welcome. We're not precious in our group. We're very unique in the way that, you know, we share. It's all about togetherness. It's all about togetherness. And every piece matters. Whether you feel you've got something small to contribute or something big. You know,
we'll have something to contribute.
We want it. Yeah, we want it. I want everybody's contribution. Like I say, even if it's just that you've had a walk in the park today and it made you feel more relaxed, and you came back and you felt really good about it.
Because that could inspire somebody who's having a really bad day, couldn't it?
Yeah, we want to hear it. We want to hear everything, anything and everything. We want to hear it, because, you know, women are everything. You know, we're not just one thing.
We're lush.
We're fabulous. I mean, you know, but we're not just a mum. We're not just a daughter. We're not just a sister. We're not just a whatever. We're everything.
And to be honest, Shelley, until I started looking at this as a business for myself, I would never have really thought of joining a group online to have support like that. But it's like you stumble across these things and you go, oh my God. And then you automatically presume everyone knows about them, but they don't.
Yeah. They
don't. And I just out there.
Yeah, and I just love bringing people together, you know, and obviously, you know, if I haven't got the answers with you know, my skills, then I can bet you bottom dollar that I can put you in touch with somebody that has, or there'll be somebody in the group that's experienced it themselves and have said, you know what, I experienced this for ages, but actually I started doing this and it's really helped me. It might help you. You know, so yeah, just, I mean, you know, obviously I'm life coach, business coach, weight loss coach, anxiety management. I've got my DBT, I've got my child psychology and adult psychology, my counselling skills, hypnotherapy, holistic therapy, Reiki master, and obviously I'm also a certified blockchain expert as well, which is part of my other group that I've got. So I think between all that, you know, we've got quite a few approaches and
pretty cool to hang out with on a Saturday afternoon with all of those things, right?
Yeah, we have, you know what,
I'm in a good place.
It's great fun, and you know what, we're all, you know, a lot of the ladies in the group have not met face to face yet. No. You know what, I class them as friends. I class you as my friend. You know, I'm honoured and blessed to have you. I feel like I know you so well.
I know I've seen your support for my business, and you know, you've got mine. Not that I fully understand what it is like, but I've requested some information, so I'll find out a bit more about this blockchain. And then we can you know, get our heads together on how I can get involved there, because I like being in your space, Shelley.
Thank you, and you're very, very welcoming. You know, and it's a fun thing on a Saturday, and you know, we have people on the call that have got kids. You know, don't be put off if you've got kids in the background. We're not precious about that. We're real women. If you've got kids in the background, don't think, oh, I can't go on the call because I've got kids. Don't think, you know, we invite pets. We do.
Not formal or anything to worry about. And even if anybody is considering coming along and they wanted to have a little practice, just a one-on-one Zoom, that's what I'm trying to offer, you know, in my group. So when I share this in my group, if you're thinking, oh, I'd like to go, you know, I just don't want anybody sitting at home feeling like, oh, I'd like to, but
Yeah,
no,
I
I'm a
can't.
bit
Or
tired, I can't do that. Because you
yeah,
can, and I'll help you.
yeah, exactly. I mean, we're dead down to earth. You know, we're super relaxed. And I remember one woman said to me, because she had a pet on the call, and she apologized. She said, "Oh, I'm sorry." You know, she said, "I once went on a Zoom call and I was told that it's most unprofessional to have a pet on the call." And I thought, right, we'll have none of that. So pets are welcome on my calls. We've not had a chicken yet or anything, you know, out there, but you know, people will bring their pets, you know, the cats and the dogs, and we'll say hello, and we'll have a little bit of a screenshot sometimes. And
And it
you
just
know,
makes the day up, doesn't it? If anybody's saying, oh, they don't have to even say anything, they could just come along and you do feel like I've had a coffee with you. I feel like
yeah,
you've been out of the house and you've spent a bit of time with somebody else. So
yeah,
it can
yeah,
brighten
it's
your day
fun.
up.
Yeah, it is. It's fun, and you know, I've met some fabulous people through these calls. You know, that I class as friends, and we all support each other. I mean, it's such a friendly. We're we're just us, aren't we? We're
I
just
know
real
there's women
women.
from all over the world on there, isn't there? Where
Yeah,
are they from? Where are they from? I know Nicola's New Zealand, isn't she? But she's over here now, right?
yeah, and America and Japan, even all over the world, all over the
And
world.
it's
You know,
only
it's
going to
not
keep
just UK.
growing. So it's so exciting. It's very exciting. I'm pleased to be part of it.
Yeah, thank you.
Good
I'm
long,
delighted that you are. I'm delighted that you are.
long may it grow.
Yes, yes, and you know, if there's anything else that I can help out with Claire in terms of, you know, because I've got a big list here of lots of different, you know, loads of different ways to manage anxiety. You know, through, you know, because I'm quite a spiritual person personally. And I like to tap into the universe where I can, and I do a lot. Obviously, I'm a holistic therapist and Reiki master as well. So there's lots and lots and lots of things, you know, like setting your vibration. You know, there's all sorts of different things that I utilize skill wise to help manage anxiety and to help others manage their anxiety as well.
Wow. So you're the expert. I knew you were. You're
Well, not
hiding your
really.
light. You're hiding your light, lady. This is a
I'm just
problem, you know.
fantastic.
One of my clients who I've been working with for a while, she you know, people are on anxiety medication and they're told not to drink. And
Mm,
then they know that it's affecting their medication, that it might not be working as effectively. And
mm,
you know, it's a problem, isn't it? And sometimes it's hard to know what it, you know, some just simple, easy, manageable steps. It's not
yeah,
rocket science, is it? It's just having somebody to be there to
yeah,
talk you through it and to tell you
yeah,
that what you're going through is perfectly normal.
yeah,
um
yeah, absolutely. And it's about managing, you know, for me, it's about managing the anxiety. You know, I think, you know, there's obviously different degrees. You know, and some, you know, some more serious cases, you know, obviously need to be managed by, you know, a medical professional, you know, like your GP and so on. You know, and the advice would be, you know, on that basis would be, you know, to stop drinking alcohol is dangerous. But to try and reduce your intake in a safe way gradually is perhaps a better approach.
mhm.
So there are varying different pieces of advice, varying on, you know, the severity of, you know, individual case by case.
Mhm.
But certainly, you know, in ways of looking at anxiety management and structuring your days and avoiding that situation or trying to manage that situation and cushioning that and making it more comfortable until you work through it is certainly something that, you know, you know, you know, I'm experienced with, I suppose.
Mhm. Good. So, and how can people get in touch with you then? So, would you give me your contact details so I can put them on the link, or is it best to find you on Facebook, or where do you normally hang out?
Just well, I'm always on Facebook. I'm also on LinkedIn as well. I've obviously got you know, I'm on Messenger. So although my you can see here I'm Shelle Fantastic, you'll find me on Facebook as Shelle Faye Richmond. So but I'm in the Shelle Fantastic Women's Empowerment Group, obviously. I certainly hope I am.
I think you're in the Soberholic group as well, aren't you? So if anybody
I
isn't
am
in
in your
my
group.
group, you can find Shelley in here. I think you
Yeah.
might be the only Shelley we've got at the minute. And
Oh,
then they can follow you through there. That would be an easy way
yeah.
to get into
Yeah.
your world.
Exactly. And we can all just work together, you know, because that's what it's about. You know, we rise by lifting others, and we're stronger when we're together. And you don't have to be on your own. Nobody has to be on their own. You know, and you can feel like you're on your own. And I know sometimes you can be in a crowded room and feel so alone, and that's heartbreaking. But we're here for you, and you might not have seen us face to face, and you might never see us face to face, and that's okay. But we're here. You know, we're here. You know, share your experiences, share your celebrations. You know, share your wins. You know, if you've done something and it's worked for you, we want to hear it. You know, if you're trying and you're struggling, share that. We'll try and help you. And if we can't, we'll know somebody else that can. We'll share together collectively. And I always think as well, it's not just about celebrating wins, but celebrating efforts. Because sometimes we can try so hard and we don't feel like we're winning.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. Celebrate that effort. Because, you know, effort is one of the key fundamental things that you need to do to be able to get to a win eventually. You know, you've got to start and you've got to try, and it's that effort. So it's about celebrating that as well, you know, and we want to hear about it, because we're all going to learn through sharing experiences. And it's surprising that once you do start sharing that and talking, suddenly you're not on your own anymore. It's a nice feeling.
And it's a support way. I don't feel like you would be my coach or I would be your coach. It's just we're in it together.
Yeah.
It's more like a skills swap to say, like, how can we support each other in our mission, what we're doing. So it's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, and I think what you're doing, Claire, is absolutely amazing. You know, you're so inspirational and such a lovely, warm, you know, friendly human being. You're a beautiful soul.
Thank you.
And
today, I don't know why I'm so tired today. I do feel like it's just like an energy hangover or something.
Yeah, and you just need to recharge. Maybe
that's what I need.
Maybe you just have that lovely bubble bath this evening. Get those.
I've already had one today. I had it.
Get another. But you know, it's just about using what you can and just being open-minded. And you know, like obviously you said earlier, Claire, didn't you, about the essential oils? You know, that was really interesting. And you know, there's so many things out there that we can employ.
That's my new thing. I've not tried them before, but I've jumped in with Nicola, so I'm going to try them. I'll be shouting about them soon.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to get my little kit and have a play.
Yeah, it's exciting,
isn't it? And the thing is, that would have bored me stiff if I was drinking. I wouldn't have been interested unless I could have put it in my prosecco.
Yeah.
I'd be going, oh, what are you on about? Why are you paying that much? Oh, your crackers.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. But then the next day I would have been going, oh.
Yes.
You know, the anxiety and the fear and the guilt and and a lot of it was over nothing, really. And it doesn't matter how much I told myself that, it was just there like a cloud hanging over us, that I just wasn't being who I wanted to be. I didn't value myself in the way that I should have. And I started to feel that. And I'm so pleased I listened to that nudge, you know, because it's been such a journey and I'm still on it. And I think part of my recovery, which I never liked that word, has been supporting and helping other people. And now I can see people are responding, because it's took a long time. You've got to keep going. Now they're responding and giving me feedback. It's just like, it's actually quite emotional.
Yeah.
You know, I lost my friend, didn't I, at the beginning of the last lockdown, and she's a big part of my story. And it's like, oh, I've done it. You know, if I can help people and the, you know, I'm proud of myself.
You should, and you absolutely should be. You know, you should be enormously proud of yourself. You know, I'm really impressed by, you know, the work that you're doing and your approach and your manner and you just your character. You know, I think you are a lovely human being, and I think you're gonna, you know, make some real changes to people that in a meaningful way that matters. You know, and I think along your journey you're going to create some lifelong friends. I really do.
I hope you're one of them, Shelley.
I most certainly am.
One day we'll be around the campfire on the beach and no meals. Wouldn't that be lovely?
And I'll have some hot chocolate and marshmallows and
People have
cream.
all been locked down and we've been holding each other up throughout all of this whole year, really. And it's just amazing. I'm so pleased that I changed to this online space when I did.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, definitely.
feel blessed.
Definitely.
We're
I mean,
very
it's
grateful.
invaluable. Oh God, yeah, it's invaluable. I mean, we've all had it particularly tough this last almost a year now with the lockdowns and the COVID and all the fear and anxiety that comes from that and everything. You know, it's just been, you know, very difficult for so many people for different reasons. You know, and you know, when we come online and use the technology that's at our fingertips, like we are doing today, you know, it really brings everybody together, and you lose that sense of isolation and that, you know, that almost that solitary confinement that you can actually experience in a room full of 10 people even. You know, you can feel like you're in solitary confinement at times, and this just, you know, just makes you feel together and less solitary, and it's powerful, and it's something to look forward to.
You're connecting with people who get you as well. I think it's not just Brenda from work because you've known her for 20 years, and so you're trying to find the things that you have in common. Sometimes it's nice to find someone in one of these groups online that is going through in the similarities that you know, it's crazy that you probably have so much more in common that we don't even know about because we're kind of in each other's world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And the thing is as well, just touching very quickly on it, you know, a person could have like tons of friends that they see, you know, obviously, you know, without COVID and everything else being in the way, but that they would ordinarily be in touch with on a regular basis, face-to-face friends that they maybe work with, or relatives even. You know, they might have a great support network, and they might be, you know, lovely, lovely people. You might have a top-notch relationship with them, but you wouldn't want to share certain aspects of what you're feeling with them, you know, for whatever reason. Maybe it's not comfortable, or you're worried what they might think, or that they might feel disappointed, or something like that, which probably wouldn't be the case in reality, but that's how it feels. So sometimes having people, you know, like us online, you know, that you know, perhaps, you know, aren't going to be judgmental, you know, like you might think your family or your relations or your friends might be. Probably wouldn't be in truth be known.
Yeah, but I think sometimes you just want to process it, don't you? Because you're worried that you're going to be questioned about how you feel. Yeah, and I think that's key. And you're right. I had a session, my first therapy session, and it was a bit tongue in cheek, and in a way, from my point of view, to call it that, because it's not something that we do, is it? We don't have therapy sessions. But my God, it blew me away how valuable it was.
Yeah.
And you know what, I'm guilty of it now because I have it in my head that I take over the conversation and I talk too much. So you're constantly getting out what you want to say and then you're shutting up. Where when you were, it was a free session, to be honest, but the idea was you know, it was that sort of exchange. I would have given her money it was my time. And that alone would have been worth every penny.
Yeah.
You know, that I could just express in how I felt. It was so powerful.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and a lot of the time it's about ventilating and getting out how you feel, because while we've got it contained within us and in our minds, you know, it can become torturous, and it's only when we release it and we, you know, in a safe way, and we, you know, we talk about it to somebody, or, you know, we share it, but actually, you know, you get that relief just by doing that. But also you don't feel alone. Yeah. Writing down, you know, it's about finding something that works for you and exploring lots of different ways, you know, safe ways, you know, until you find something that fits, and not giving up when you've tried one or two things and thinking, oh, that didn't work, it's pointless, I'm too far gone, or whatever.
What's blown my mind is that I've been able to go back to some memories that I've had and look at my beliefs that I had then and kind of reframe it now and think, well, actually, that's what I believed then, so that's why I made that decision, but I don't believe that now.
Yeah.
And let it go. And it's simple as that. You can't fix it.
Yeah.
But you can let it go, can't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's powerful because there's a shift. And if somebody had told me that when I was drinking Prosecco, I would have spat it all over my kitchen counter.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like a different part of your brain, isn't it?
And, you know, let's face it, you know, all of us as human beings are on a journey, you know, irregardless of, you know, alcohol or, you know, no alcohol or whatever. we're all on a journey, and we all change and we all develop and we all evolve, and that's okay. And, you know, and sometimes, you know, we're going to have down times, and sometimes we're going to have up times, and sometimes we might just be in the middle. And it's going to be a mixture of all of the above, you know, but we're on a journey and our perspectives change, and you might find that your friend circle changes, you know, and the friends that you used to hold dear to you many years ago, suddenly, you know, you don't share the same opinions or values any longer. And that's okay. You know, it's just okay. You know, and I think sometimes we're not too familiar with that word. It's okay. You know, and what can we do, and how can we, you know, nurture ourselves and cultivate our growth moving forward on our journey in life, because we're all on that same journey, each and every single one of us. We're just at different stages, and we've just had different routes, you know, and maybe we've got different destinations down the line, you know, at different times. That's all okay. It's about what we do on that journey and how we can, you know, look after ourselves in that time and look after others.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? Well done, Shelle Fantastic.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having me here today. You know, it's an honor and privilege to speak with you, Claire, but also
I think it was sunny
your
when
audience.
we started talking. It's dark now.
It's going dark. It is. Yeah, you've got two chatterboxes on the line. You see, that's the problem, isn't it? You've got two chatterboxes.
Well, isn't that lovely? No, that's really nice for with the share. I always have to watch it back. Like, I don't know if you do, but I'll watch it back and then I'll send it to you before I share anything.
Yeah, that's perfect.
But no, I think that was lovely. Thank you, Shelle. I'm absolutely zapped now. I can't be bothered to do anything else. Can you? I'm going to go and eat some chocolate. I think that's what I need. That's what my body's telling me to do.
I think I'm going to get another cup of coffee, and I might actually even have a piece or two of chocolate. I've got my own little stash in the bedroom away from the children. So, yeah, I think I might have confessed that live, haven't I? Sorry, kids. Yeah, I might go and have a little bit of chocolate and
go for it.
Watch a bit of television or something.
Yes, put your feet up. All right. Thank you, Shelle. Bye.
My pleasure.
I'll see you probably on, well, if not tomorrow, definitely on Monday online.
Definitely, you will do.
Bye,
see you
darling.
soon.
Have a nice
Take
night.
care.
Ta-ta.
Bye. Bye.